Welcome back. Welcome back to another MAAT'S Last Word live show. Drinking some of Kroger's finest, simple truth, my own amino acid blend cocktail. Let me make sure everything is working. I am using a different streaming platform right now than the last one I've been using because I want to change sceneries a little bit. So bear with me for a minute or two. I just want to check to see if everything is working on your end. Alright, let me see here. Go to live. And okay, perfect. Alright, let's get started here. I do apologize. I planned to go live at 11 a.m., but just got so much going on top of putting these streams together. This is not like recording a previous video, excuse me, where I can get that done in about 10 minutes. I can record a video 30 minutes, hour long, edit it, everything in about 10-15 minutes. This takes days because there's so much improvising and just taking care of the technical aspect of going live. So shout out to all the live streamers out there that are putting in consistent work week after week on the technical background scene, because it is definitely not easy work, not easy job to do. And I salute you, because I do understand the time and the effort it takes to get things done properly. So, who am I? I am Ahati Maat. I am your gracious host. Peace to all. I started this playlist called the Awakening Playlist almost a month ago, and I started it because something had touched me deeply a month prior to that, and I felt like it was time for me to share as much as I can about my own experience in this realm we call life, because there's people out there, especially now after everything that has gone on for the past 3 years, medically, emotionally, financially. It was time for me to share some of my experience, strength, and hope with the public on this. I am a student of, in my opinion, I am a student of the greatest teacher in our time, and because of that, I will protect his name, and I will protect him. So I will not be revealing my sources on where my knowledge is coming from, other than which each show brings to you. So for instance, if I'm referring articles or stories or people, of course I'll show you those sources. But the intrinsic knowledge, the what some call ancient knowledge that benefit people greatly, if you want that personal beneficial information, you will have to sign up or contact me for personal teachings or coaching, because I will not just give that away. It's very important to me, and the person that taught me is very important to me as well. And I will not just give away what he did not give away freely to me either. And I respect him, and I respect that process, so I will carry that on. So if you would like teachings from me, If you would like to be my student or be a client, because I don't just teach knowledge, I also do other things, we can talk. Just send me an email. And all the contact information is in the link below. So where am I shooting from? I am shooting from Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles, from MAAT'S Fragrance headquarters. Yeah, soon to be. But I'm shooting from an undisclosed location, and it is in Los Angeles though, and I'll just leave it at that. So again, I'm Ahati Maat. I reinvented this channel actually. I started this channel about a year ago. I was going in one direction. I decided to hit the brakes and go in another direction only because it's something that my heart pushed me to do. And I do listen to my heart today. And so I did that. And I actually reinvented my channel. And if you go to my About section, you will find out on my channel that there is a wealth of information about what I'm going to speak about and what I will not speak about. And I am part of a great organization, and they will not be involved with this only to protect them as well. So when the attacks do start coming, the slander, the defamation, and all that start coming, I welcome it and I will absorb it here, but I will not reveal of what group or team or organization I am a part of to protect them as well. So that is my disclaimer that I always start in the beginning of these live stream shows, because it's very important that we protect the ones we love. Okay. What else? So I also run a business on here, and that's mainly the reason why I'm doing this is to sell my products. I'm going to be upfront. That's another thing about me. I'm totally transparent and upfront as much as I can. I don't suggest that we share all of our secrets because there's legalities and other things hurting people we love. We don't want to do that either. But share as much as you can about yourself just to keep it real with others. That's what I am doing, and that's what I will continue to do here. So I'm here to make money as well. So I will not keep this channel running for a long time if I do not see any if I don't see any reception, especially from the chat. The chat is free. I just want to say the chat is free. You can join the chat, and I'll check that in a moment because I do see people viewing now. You can check the chat. You can join the chat. It is free. You are welcome. Everybody's welcome. Even the haters, the slanderers, you are welcome too. I will not shy away from that. I may not entertain you for long, but the chat is welcome. Drop your thoughts. Leave your questions. And let's interact. This is about interacting. This is about healing. This is about removing trauma from all of us, because the system that created this is very sick, and it wants us sick too in order to control us. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And I'm here to break that, to put an end to that. So back to my product. So I'm in the oil fragrance business. This is one of my latest products. It's a limited edition product. As you can see, it's got the cork top to it. It is proven. It's got the leak test. Okay, for a long time on end like this, no leaks. So when shipping, it will be fine. This is our latest limited product. This is called Kashi Musk. Kashi Musk, the golden liquid from the Nile Valley fragrance. I will be doing in the future too. I will be doing a history breakdown on perfumes and fragrances and scents that date back all the way to the ancient Egyptians and what are people are calling the Mesopotamians and the Sumerians. I will be doing shows on that as well. But for now, this is Kashi Musk. This is our 5 milliliter bottle. Our 5 milliliter bottle. And this is limited. This is limited time only because I'm not sure with the manufacturer if he's going to keep producing them for much longer. But for right now, they are available. The 5 milliliter bottle for $4, free shipping right now. Limited time only, free shipping. For $4, you get a 5 milliliter bottle. Depending, I use a lot of. I'm going to show you how much oil I use. So I doubt there's anybody using right now as much oil as I do at once. I'm going to show you why. This bottle here, for you, especially you light users, this will last you over a year at least. Just this bottle here. Okay. We sell 3 sizes. That was the middle size or the 5 milliliter bottle. We also sell a 10 milliliter, which is common bottle. A 10 milliliter bottle, which is common. And this is the Kashi Musk. Let's get on camera a little better. This is the Kashi Musk. Okay. And this is 10 milliliter rollerball. So as you can see, it has a roller ball, the roller applicator. You just put it on your skin. Now I already have some on me. I'm going to put some more just to show you how to put on some oils. Now this isn't for the faint of heart or the brothers that don't want to get either confronted or get compliments, because you will get either one depending on the person's perspective. I've had people complain, and I've had people ask me, what is that scent? I gotta have it. Let me know what it is. Okay, so this is how you put it on to make it last for, I'm gonna say, roughly between 2 to 3 hours. I will be honest, there is no type of colognes, perfumes, fragrances that you put on your body that lasts at least 4 to 8 hours. There is none. There are advertisers that claim that they last that long only to sell the product to you, but from my research, from reading about the chemistry and how it compounds and interacts with our own unique scents, pheromones, plus the oils that are produced from our body, it's only going to last, a strong one like mine is only going to last maybe 3 hours. That's just being honest. And then you got to apply a little bit more. You don't have to apply as much as you do in the beginning, like I'm going to show you now, but eventually you will have to apply some more depending how you want to smell. Now let me just show you how I put this on. So what I like to use is a lotion base, or I use shea butter, but you can use lotion too. The point is to get your skin moisturized, because inside of my oils it uses alcohol. Now before people start saying alcohol, listen, it depends what alcohol you're using. Okay, so people drink a lot of alcohol. Just think about that. People drink a lot more alcohol than they would put on with their oils. Okay, so there's people walking around wearing these oils that are drinking alcohol, but they want oils that don't have alcohol in them as a stabilizer or base for the scent, which is fine. But I'm telling you, the alcohol is what brings out the stronger scent, and it also helps to make the fragrance lasts longer through evaporation on the skin. So I like using denatured ethanol alcohol. You can use other kinds. I know people that use rubbing alcohol. The point is, alcohol is not bad for you. It's just that it will, yes, it does evaporate. Yes, it does dry the skin. But if, that's why I said, if you put lotion on or you put shea butter on your skin, you're going to be hydrated. And you drink water and you drink liquids, you're going to be hydrated. You don't have to worry about all that. So trust me, I'm going to do a show more thorough on this, more detailed, to break that myth or spell or fake story. Alcohol is not bad for you in these oils. Actually, I recommend putting, if you're into oils and want to get into producing them, put alcohol in your oils, because you can get more for what you pay for, and it's going to last longer on your skin, because alcohol evaporates very quickly. And once this fragrance is evaporating within your oil, within your lotion skin and the oils, that's what brings the scent out. Now I'm going to show you what you do. So you put the lotion on. Again, I already have some of this on, so I'm just going to show you what I do. You rub the lotion on, right? And you do this, and depending, it doesn't matter how fast you go. You can go quick, slow, it doesn't matter. But you do this in order to cause friction, in order to cause heat within your skin. Because what's happening on the molecular level is there's thermogenesis going on, which means that there's heat happening here. And the heat does what? Heat brings out scent. If you didn't know that, heat brings out scent. Just think about cooking. When you're cooking something on the stove, when you just put the raw meat or whatever it is on the stove and you don't heat it up yet, you don't smell anything, right? And then when you turn on the heat on the pan and then the steak starts cooking on the pan, what do you smell? You start smelling the meat. But if it's just laying there without any heat, you don't smell anything. Same concept. Then this is how much I put on. And I recommend this. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to tell you why. So I put this on for about a minute. I just go in. Look, see? For a minute. Now, I'm not going to spend a minute doing this here now because, like I said, I already did this. But I always suggest put a minute. Don't be afraid. Get it in there. Get it in there. And with these bottles here, man, fire. And with these bottles here, it's even better because the drops are more concentrated. So you don't have to, with this, I always put 4 to 5 drops at least. It should be running off your wrist. It should just be super shiny on your hand. I'm going to show you. So you keep putting it on, keep putting the applicator on. And then once it looks super duper wet, and it should, see how shiny? See how shiny that is? Yes, it should look super duper wet like that. And I always throw more because I love fragrances. And then I always slap the cheeks. I always slap the cheeks because when people lean in to talk to you, they can smell it. And then they ask you where you got it. And then you can say, I got it from a brother named Ahati from MAAT'S Fragrances. I suggest that you check him out. Here's his contact info. So you put this on. This will last you about 3 hours. Now, the Kashi Musk, the Kashi Musk has a unique fragrance. In the name, well, let me start with this first. Let me start with the name. The Kashi Musk, in the ancient Egyptian language, where my name, Ahati Ma'at, comes from, in the ancient Egyptian language, the Kash, or Kashata, was a great leader, which is now called one of the Nubian pharaohs, right? But their actual name were the Kashi people, or the Kashata people. So it actually comes from, the scent actually is named after that region of the Nile Valley or ancient Egypt. And why do I name most of my fragrances after that? My fragrances, I do have compliments like Blue Day Chanel and Issey Miyake, but I name those, Amani Code, I name those as compliments. I always make that understood that those are other designers. But with my designs, they're going to be named after the ancient Egyptians or the people from Kemet, which is the proper name. And I attribute it to them because, as I will show in future shows, that perfumery actually comes from ancient Egypt. That's where it started at. The ancient Egyptians were very meticulous with their beauty, with their fragrances, and they always kept their standards up. That's why if you look at me now, I'm usually dressed fresh, I'm dressed nice, I dress like I look like I'm clean, like I just came out of the shower, because I did. And I want to keep that look up. I've looked other ways, and it actually ties into what I'm going to talk about tonight about confidence. Your confidence is actually linked to how you look at yourself in the mirror. It's not even attributed to how people look at you, because you're the first judge of you. It's how you look at you. And if you look dirty and nasty, you're not going to have a high self-esteem. You're not going to have a lot of confidence. Peace to people that came in the chat. We have I'm actually streaming on other channels here. I'm streaming on Facebook and Twitch. If you don't have those channels, check them out. I know Twitch isn't popular, but it is an alternative channel to go check out as well. It's not as confined, I'll just say, as YouTube. So people are watching over there. So peace to Ascension. Peace to have you, God. I'm glad you're here. Peace to Stephen E., the great brother Stephen E. Got a lot of respect for this brother. I'm glad you're here, brother. Keep up the great work. We're all proud of you, even Saba. And then my brother, one of my close brothers, is here as well. Brother I appreciate a lot. Brother that puts in a lot of work for the organization that I'm a part of. And a brother that I love dearly. And I'm glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're safe. And I'll see you later on. Look forward to it. Yeah, so I've actually dressed. See, before we get started, we'll get started soon. I've actually, I have a very unique life. I'll just say that. I've never been afraid to take risks. I'll say that too. We're gonna break all that down soon, but I've been ever since I was a child. I've been very curious to see how other people live through their eyes, let's just say. I've always been curious since I was a little kid, man. Very curious, to the point where people make up cliches like the grass is always greener on the other side, or what's the other one, where you don't, something about when you lose something, you love it or you don't respect. I forgot how it goes. The point I'm making is that I'm just a curious person, and I want to experience all aspects of life, even what people call the negative side, because in my perception, that's what I believe we're here to do. We're not supposed to be shying away really from anything. I don't advocate, going through pain and all that if you can avoid it. However, there is a lot of growth in pain too. A lot of my experiences, if I didn't go through pain or embarrassing moments, as some would say, or compromising moments or vulnerable moments, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I would not have the confidence right now to open up to you as I do. Before I get off into that though, back to the oils real quickly. So if you want to get Akashi Musk, I just finished a batch for a brother that I'll be shipping out this week too. If you want to pick up Akashi Musk to test it out, we do have sample sizes. Our sample sizes are the 3.7 milliliter, and they are $3. This is $6, and the limited 5 milliliter bottle with the cork top. This is more. I know the females will like this. This is $4. And let me dispel something real quick too. On my labels right now, I'm going to be removing them though. But on my labels right now, you'll see male and female. That is not correct. It all depends on how the person feels about the perfumery or the oil scent on them. So for instance, this Akashi Musk is for male or female because it has a powdery scent like baby powder. It has a floral scent like flowers. It has a woodsy scent. It has a musky scent. So these are all male and female attributes. So I never want to limit, this goes into today too, I never want to limit, as much as possible, I never want to limit anything in my life because this is also a hindrance. So my fragrances, most of them is up to the wearer. Now I have a compliment by Blue Day Chanel, which is a very popular brand in the mainstream society, especially with men's colognes. And I have that because people recognize that very quickly. And it'll open them up to my designs. But that smells like it's for men. It smells like it's for men. If I smelled that on a female, I would be suspect. But Yes, I would not recommend that for females. So, but most of the fragrances, it just depends on who's wearing them and smelling them, and if you like it or not. So I actually have a lot more coming out soon, and I have a fragrance list, a MAAT'S fragrance list that's always being updated, and I can always email that or send that out to you as well. And one last thing, if you like wearing colognes now, if you use a cologne spray, when I was younger, I didn't really know much about oils until I met this Muslim brother in Piscataway, New Jersey, called Bashir Nurid. Bashir Nurid, and he put me on to the Muslim brothers and their oils, and I was hooked ever since. And the reason why I like oils is because when you spray a bunch of cologne all over your body, you could be on a train, you could be on a bus, you could be in your car, you could be in public, and not everybody wants to get that waft, that tail, that stream of your cologne in their face while they're trying to eat or whatever, wherever you are. A lot of people don't want that. The great thing about oil is that it's subtle. Yes, people can smell it. So if I walked in a room right now, people would smell me because I have so much of it on me. People will smell me. However, they won't get that tail in their face. They'll just get the smell. So it's a less invasive, let's say, type of experience than if I'm just spraying cologne or perfume all around me. Another thing I don't like about the cologne or the spray is that a lot of it's toiletry. And I'm going to break down the differences between perfumes and toilet and percentages and all that. I'll go into that in other shows. But it's mostly what's called toilet spray, which means that it's mostly alcohol. The majority of the spray in there is alcohol because of evaporation purposes again. So whenever you spray these colognes, which are expensive too, they're like hundreds of dollars. I know the Bleu de Chanel is up near the hundreds. The Georges Sauvage is over 100. A lot of these are hundreds of dollars. I've gone into these places, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom's, talked to the women behind the counter, and they've been working there for 20 years, some of them. And they say, yeah, this stuff is junk. They say it's junk, and they agree with me. They say, yeah, the oil, because they'll ask, like, oh, you're making your own oils or something, right? I'm like, yeah, because I grab the test strips to smell them. And they're like, yeah, I agree with you because your body chemistry will mix better with oils than if you just use these toilet sprays that are way more expensive than my fragrance oils. So I highly recommend oils. I really do, because it has a unique, your body smell, your pheromone smell will mix lovely and and over a while too, when you put these oils on your body, just like everything in life, your body adapts, and your body will make another unique type of fragrance out of the oil fragrance and out of your body smell or your body composition. So it's a fun experience. All right. So let's begin here. I want to say Nini Uktu, or you're welcome to Carolina. Nice to see you, sister. Glad you're here. Okay, so there are no risks. There are no risks. There are no risks, only lack of confidence. So point one, what is a risk? Does it exist? Point two, what is confidence? And point three, how can we change our perception from hesitation to action? So what is a risk? Does it exist? What is confidence? How can we change our perception from hesitation to action? So let's start with risk. So zebras are a great example. Zebras are a great example because thirst and hunger will compel any animal to move forward in the face of danger. Thirst and hunger will compel any animal to move forward in the face of danger. And the thing about it with us is that we've grown way too comfortable. We've grown way too comfortable to the point where if we're hungry, we just go to this building and it's got these colorful shelves and got all these colorful signs hitting us. They have all these beeping noise and the hypnotizing music in the background. It's got beautiful people walking around. And then, the meat is already packaged up and even looks pretty. Because meat doesn't really look red after a couple hours. It starts turning gray. It's still good, but it just doesn't look pretty. So we've grown way too comfortable. And since we've grown way too comfortable, it's created a concept, a word called risk. And there is no risk. I'm here to tell you that now. There is no risks. There is no risk. Of course, first, the risk is created in the imagination. Imagination is great. Imagination actually assists us throughout our daily lives. Without imagination, none of you would be here watching me now and in the future. The imagination is necessary. However, of course, the mind is always protecting itself, or the brain is always protecting itself, so it has to create concepts such as what we call risk. When you look up the word risk, it has no origin to it. So therefore, as I'll get into that a little bit later, we cannot depend on what everybody else thinks a risk is. And most people think taking a risk is some monumental thing or some dramatic thing or some dangerous thing that we must do or not do because danger is lurking around the corner. I'm going to tell you something. Your death is always around the corner. That's the only thing that you should be worrying about right now. Is how can I prepare my energy, well, first my mind, because I know a lot of you that are watching this. I create this channel also for new people that are new to a different way or different system or outlook on life, which is one based on ancient knowledge, which is specifically based on ancient Egypt. And in ancient Egypt, the focus was not on anything but how can I prepare myself to leave my body? Because you talk about risk, that's the only risk. If there was a risk, that would be the only risk that matters. Because every day, those of us that aren't doing that are taking a quote-unquote risk. I use that loosely. So I'm here to stop all that. There is no such thing as risk. There's only decisions, lack of confidence, hesitation, and the preparation that we put into our daily lives will prevent what we don't want from coming into life and what we do want coming into our life. Okay? So thirst and hunger will compel any animal to move forward in the face of danger. So we're not thirsty and hungry like we used to be. We're not thirsty or hungry like we used to be. There was a time where I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be out somewhere in a field, in a savanna, in the Sahara. I would just be outside right now. And the only thing on my mind would be food, sex, food, sex. And it's a very, very simplistic life. It very is compared to how we live now. And believe it or not, that would consume your entire day because you have to eat in order to procreate. You have to eat in order to procreate, and you really don't have time to think about anything else. So only a system that doesn't want you to procreate will have you thinking about everything else other than food and sex. Now, this doesn't mean that you become undisciplined. I don't have time to get into all that. Yes, you need sexual discipline. You need all that, and you need to have discipline with your mouth, with putting things in your mouth too. But for those of you that can grasp common sense very quickly, the lifestyle that we live now is very complicated compared to how it was in the past, where it would just be mainly us focusing on how to gather food, have sex so we could keep having children because the children will grow to protect us as we get older. That right now for most people, including myself, is eradicated. That is gone. That is gone. And it's gone to a point where people actually call that a lifestyle. It's actually acceptable to be able to go into these convenience stores or grocery stores and buy food, and to not want to have any children or raise children that can't protect you because either they're soft or they don't know who they are. But it wasn't biologically, we weren't made to be that way. All do not make it, however, thousands do. Now, what do I mean by that? All do not make it, but thousands do. So we're going to go to an article right now. Actually, it's a blog. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up here. But I really want everyone to think about that for a moment. That the simplicity of life is created by what's inside of your mind right now. And it has nothing to do with anything that's happening on the outside or any outside influence. And I'll get to that real briefly soon. Okay, so on the screen, this is a blog by Follow Alice, and I'm only going to read a certain part based on the zebras and the risks that they take every year during their migration. So it says around, let me zoom in. Zoomed in too much. Okay, so it says around 200,000 zebras travel alongside the wildebeest as part of a great migration. These zebras are a subspecies of plain zebra known as Grant zebra. They are the smallest of the plain zebra and very beautiful. The stripes on their body are vertical, while those on their legs are horizontal. Zebras are highly social animals and live in herds. Fascinatingly, the reason that zebras can move in harmony with wildebeest is the great migration is that the two creatures eat different parts of the same type of grass. This is why, as shown in one of the photos below, you often see zebra and wildebeest herds mixing along the great migration route. There they are migrating. Did you know that female zebras have a gestation period of over a year? They can only carry one calf at a time, and once the calf is born, they will nurse it up to a year. Animals that prey on the migration herds. Various animals prey on the herds of the great wildlife migration. Think leopards, cheetahs, and African wild dogs, for instance. But front and center is the lion, the mighty king of the jungle. Lions actually stalk the herds, moving across the landscape in pursuit of them. Another notable great migration predator is the hyena, which also tracks the herds, looking for chances to strike. Some predators don't stalk the migration but take their opportunities when they come. Of significance here are massive crocodiles of the Serengeti rivers. Some of these crocodiles are 500 upwards to 1,000 pounds. Okay. So, dangers of the Great Migration. Of the roughly 1.5 wildebeests of the Great Wildlife Migration, about 250,000 die every year. That means around a sixth of the wildebeest population doesn't survive the Great Migration. The causes of death vary, include being killed by predators, dying of thirst or starvation, and being drowned when crossing large rivers. The wildebeest, zebras, and antelopes of the Great Migration must cross many streams and rivers in their search for water and green pasture. The larger river crossings are particularly dangerous moments for them. Most significantly, the animals must cross the large crocodile-infested Grumeti and Mara rivers of the Serengeti. Sensing the danger, the herds cross the rivers in a stampede. Some of the animals are taken out by crocs, others are trampled to death, and still others are swept away by the current and drowned. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Could you do this? Could you do this if you were a zebra, an antelope? With your mindset, being honest, right now, right this moment, if you knew that you had to cross this croc-infested river every year, you're growing up, and mommy and daddy's zebra are talking to each other, you hear them talking while you're eating, while you're chewing on cud, chewing on grass. You hear your parents talking, and every year, Pops is like, I love you all. I can't. I don't know how to protect you from these 500 to 1,000 pound beings that are. We can't even see them in the water, but we got to get across that river in order to keep staying alive. Could you do this if you thought the way you think today? I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I could. I don't know if I would hesitate. That's being honest. I don't know if I could, if I would hesitate. Now, out of the zebras, out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of zebras that cross, there are thousands that die, but they don't stop crossing. So all do not make it, however, thousands do. So part of the risk is it's not worrying about the consequence all the time. And this may sound contradictory to how we were taught as kids. Or even now as adults. People are always weighing consequences, but it comes down to this. It comes down to my own perspective. I may come to this Mara River here, and I could clearly see family crossing over it. in the forefront over here. And then there's thousands of us on the banks on the other side of this river here. Do some of them turn away? Possibly. Do some of them look at their family members getting eaten? Possibly. Getting eaten by this. And if you have children, this may be too graphic for them, but this is a part of life. This happens. That chicken you're going to eat tonight was slaughtered, bludgeoned, and killed in a way worse fashion than this, in a factory somewhere. But this is a reality of life. Some of us do not make it. Do we stop taking this quote-unquote risk? In my opinion and experience, no. Absolutely not. Now that doesn't mean that we hesitate or we don't hesitate, because even I hesitate on things. Even I hesitate. And I said it before and I'll say it again, hesitation is fatal. A lot of times when I do hesitate, I have regrets over that. I know there's things in me I still have to work on. There's fears that still have to be adjusted inside of me, whatever they are. And I feel, and through my experience, I know that this does not go away. It's a personal battle that goes on within all of us, that hesitation. It's a position we take whether we're going to stay hungry and thirsty or we're going to take that leap. It's a literal leap, too. When the zebras are leaping, zebras have to leap in and leap out of this river. They're not just wading across the whole way. They leap in. I mean, just watch a nature video on YouTube. There's tons of them. They leap into the Mara River, and then they leap out. And they're leaping while they're in the river because there's crocs coming up trying to eat them. So it's literally what some would call a leap of faith, too. And sometimes we don't have all the information, which brings me to my next point, which is the word risk. The word risk is actually from an unknown origin, which means whoever created the word did not fully explain what it means. This is very important. With everything that goes on in your mind right now, with everything that you speak, whatever language you speak, you don't have to speak English, you can speak other languages. It's just information. It's the information. The information is incomplete. And if we're making decisions off of information that's incomplete, it's going to be very easy for us to hesitate on things. I totally get that. It goes on to say, since then, many people have based their decision-making process off of this and suffered dearly. Many people have suffered because of this word risk. Well, it could be anything that you see as a risk. You know, and let me clarify something too. Hold on a second. I forgot to do this earlier. Let me clarify something too. I'm not talking about fighting. I'm not talking about taking a risk of physically getting into an altercation or fighting. I'm not talking about that risk. I'm not talking about risking your ego or getting your feelings hurt because it's all in your mind. It's not in the other person's mind. With women, with your boss, with relationship. I'm not talking about that risk. I'm talking about real risk, man. I'm talking about not existing here in the physical realm anymore. I'm talking about jumping into that river because you got to eat. I'm talking about people that create nations and sacrifice their very life, not knowing if that nation will be created. I'm talking about that risk. I'm not talking about you like Sally down the road and you want to have sex with her, but you're too much of a coward to just tell her, hey, I want to have sex with you. I'm not talking about that risk. I'm talking about, and I don't advocate you just go up and tell a female that. Of course, you have to be smooth with this, seductive, but you gotta be honest, and it starts with being honest with yourself. But I'm talking about large risks, things that can benefit not only you but your family, your friends, your acquaintances, your brothers, your sisters. Um, and this is something that I admire a lot about my mentality and what I've been through, and people that think similar to me. A lot of these people have been in organizations themselves. A lot of these people are known as soldiers, warriors, men that know that what they create or fight for or build will a lot of times will not be seen by their physical eyes. Those type of people. And they could be male or female. Those type of people. So I'm talking about that risk. When we have as much information as possible, to make a move that could end badly, but through our own experiences and memories more often end in our favor, we can be confident that our choices and decisions will save us instead of harming us. Let me read that again. When we have as much information as possible to make a move that could end badly, but through our own experiences and memories more often end in our favor. So, I will produce something, a short video on this too, about asking for what you want. I'm all in with asking people or letting other people know what you want from them. And either they're going to say yes or no, and that's it. I'm not into, being afraid to ask. I used to be when I was younger. Somebody would offer me a plate of food, and I'd say, oh, I'm not hungry. And I'd be hungry as an MF. I'd be super hungry. But there was a insecurity in me, a pride, a false pride in me that would, for some reason, I look at it now and it just seems insane to me. I would never do that now, but yes, and there's a lot of us that still do that. But the harm that may come to you is unknown. So what happens is the more we do something that we think that is a risk, and nothing happens, then we can bank that. We can remember that for the future and realize, well, I did this before and I did it in a certain way, and then therefore nothing should happen to me this time. And now this is what people call a risk. This is what people call a consequence. A consequence might happen, which it's just an unknown. We don't know. So therefore the hesitation comes in, and then we don't even attempt to do what we're calling a risk. Again, a lot of times we're not going to have a lot of the information, and just because you don't have all the information, sometimes we're not even supposed to have all the information, but just because you don't have all the information, it doesn't mean that the risk shouldn't still, or what's being called a risk, the action shouldn't be attempted. And only you can make that decision. I can't make that decision for you. Only you can make that decision. So what is confidence? What is confidence? Confidence equals trust and boldness. Trusting in ourselves first is very important before any decision is made, Being bold comes after similar to that one person you can depend on other than ourselves. Without either, what appears as danger is a lost opportunity. Ah, man. Trusting in ourselves. Let me read this again. And look at the picture too. Look at what the ant is doing. And ants are actually great examples of things that take risks in their daily life. The ant is not worried at all. It says confidence equals trust in boldness. Trusting in ourselves first. So first we have to trust in ourselves. None of this works without trusting yourself. And again, a lot of the stuff that I teach from and will be teaching from into the future is all focusing on you, on focusing on us, on focusing on who we are as people and what we want to project to other people into the world that is outside of us. And if you can't trust in yourself, none of anything of what I'm showing you today is going to work. None of it. And trusting, and it might sound ridiculous, but trusting is as simple as you got a booger hanging out of your nose, or somebody has a booger hanging out of their nose, and you tell them, hey, you got a booger hanging out of your nose. And there's people, again, that won't tell the other person that there's some flaw going on with them or something's happening with them. They just won't do that out of whatever it may be. In my opinion, this always goes back to fear. A lot of people don't agree with that, but listen, I used to be a very fearful person, and I know what fear is. I can recognize it very quickly in other people, whether they agree or not. So trusting in ourselves first is very important. Very important. And I'll do shows on how to begin trusting in yourself again before any decision is made. Now, practically, we have to make decisions often, moment to moment. But I'm talking about major ones. Moving, new jobs, relationships with other people. But all this goes back to the relationship we have with ourselves. And once you build that and solidify that and have standards, have your own boundaries, have your own limits on what you allow and what you won't allow, then the trust comes and the decisions automatically start taking care of themselves. I didn't have anybody teaching me this. This is all learning from self-experience, from crying, from hurting, from anger, from yelling, from screaming, from cursing. Being bold comes after, similar to that one person. Being bold comes after, similar to that one person you could depend on other than yourself. So I'm comparing being bold to that person in your life right now that you feel you can trust, you could depend on other than yourself. We all have one person. At least one, hopefully. I hope you have one person. Being bold, boldness. What people call bold is just being able to trust in your ability to accomplish something, whatever it may be. It could be walking up to a person that you really admire and saying, hey, I'd like to work for you. It could be walking up to a female and saying, hey, I'd like to have a relationship with you. It could be anything. What people are calling bold is just confidence. Looks like I have a typo there. I just noticed that. So yes, boldness goes along with trust, which is confidence. And the confidence comes from what? From having proper information about ourselves. So without either, what appears as danger is a lost opportunity, because lack of confidence, lack of trust, you're usually operating in a fear mind state. You're operating in this mind state that is looking at the world through skewed perceptions. And hey, I'm not immune from this. I'm not talking like I haven't gone through any of this stuff. Of course I have. That's why I can speak on it. Because I've worked through it. and I have a solution. I like talking about solution state, not mainly problems. I acknowledge the problem immediately, and then I move immediately to focus on the solution, and therefore the solution is built most of the time. Actually, all the time. It just takes time. Sometimes it's quickly, sometimes it's slowly. But that's what I'm bringing to you today is solutions. The solution to risk is your confidence in yourself. And only you know that feeling. I can't feel it for you. So, in my experience, confidence to me is a feeling that I am the only one existing around other people. Now, some of you might say, what did he just say? Excuse me. I've noticed in my own life experience that when I focus on you instead of me, that's when the lack of confidence starts coming. That's when my perception starts getting skewed. In the beginning, when we're hurting and when we are seeking and looking for something to enhance ourselves or maybe change a life situation or to bring a solution, we look at other people that look like they're stronger and confident than us. But you're the strength and confidence of yourself, and it's always been that way since your birth. It's always been that way. So in the beginning, yes, it's good to look to other people, to even, I would suggest, imitate them for a very short time, because obviously what you were doing wasn't working for you, else you wouldn't be seeking out that other person to learn from, to emulate, to grow with. But once you obtain your strength, your unity, and your confidence again, I do not suggest imitating anyone other than you. And if they don't like it, well, they can beat it. Or they'll just remove themselves, or you'll eventually remove yourself. Either way. And that's okay. Today today I don't care if somebody sticks around with me or not. I used to in the past, but now I don't. I am so content and happy with where I'm at and who I am that I actually enjoy my own company. I was talking to someone last night, and she was apologizing to me because she doesn't talk much, and she was silent. She's very silent. I was doing most of the talking, but she's silent, and she's silent most of the time. And she apologized for being silent, and I said, no, I enjoy that. How many of us enjoy just sitting in a room silent for long periods of time? I'm not talking about being on the phone, looking at computers, or just silent as much as you can. Just enjoying the semblance of no noise. It's a beautiful thing. Are we born with confidence, taught confidence, or do we acquire it through experience? Are we born with confidence, taught confidence, or do we acquire it through experience? That's a great question. Are we born with confidence? No. A child is born helpless, in a helpless state. How can something be confident when it feels helpless? How can something be confident when it's helpless? So no, we're not born with confidence. Are we taught confidence? To be honest, it doesn't matter how much I share with you today. Either you're going to believe it and start living it until you can develop your own way, or you're not. So I wouldn't even really rely on somebody that's teaching you confidence. So yeah, I'll even tell you right now, I don't rely on this right here. Don't rely on anything I say today. Actually, Because I'm not you. Only you are you. And only you know that secure feeling that when you walk into a room, or you walk into your job, or you walk into any venue that you go to, and you feel those eyes are on you, and you feel secure in your being, and you're smiling ear to ear, and you have your chest out, and you're standing erect to the point where people are telling you they like your stature. Only you know that experience. I don't know that experience for you. I only know my experience. So to a certain degree, yes, because the mind craves information. So yes, I do suggest emulating or learning from somebody initially how to be confident if that is your goal, how to take more risks, how to stop hesitating. Yes, I do advocate that for a short time, but I wouldn't say to I wouldn't agree to emulating that person forever or absorbing who they are, because they're not you, man. I'm not you. I have my own life, and you have your own life. So you can only be taught so much before you have to start taking action on your own and doing it and applying it to your own life. So do we acquire it through experience? I'd say absolutely, and I would say that is the best way to become confident and take more risks, or what's being called risk, to get this mindset that you're taking a risk out of your mind, is to acquire confidence through experience. Because everything gets stronger and better through repetition and practice. Moving forward, we learn by doing, not just knowing. Someone else's experience. Confidence is acquired through time and action. We learn by doing, not just knowing. Someone else's experience. Confidence is acquired through time and action. Very powerful statement. We learn by doing, not just knowing. I could read all the books in the world about how to build a car from scratch. If I don't take time to take a risk, even though my finances aren't in order, let's say, to buy the parts I need to build a car, I will go and buy these parts, because if I really want to build this car, I will, right, take a risk, as we say, and do what I love to do. So, looking at all the car manuals in the world will not help me fix or even build a car. Confidence is acquired through time and action. Everything takes time and action in order to build itself here in the physical realm. Every idea, everything that we are wearing, we are holding, we are using, started as an idea. If it stopped at the idea, this would not be created. It would not be created. So if I can emphasize anything today, take some time and start taking action on things that you really, really want to accomplish and do, that you've been thinking about for a very long time, and you just been making excuses or procrastinating or whatever it is, and the only thing that's holding you back is you at the moment, in the way that you're perceiving and looking at your life. And be like the zebra. Jump in. Jump in. Because the problem is we can overanalyze a lot of things. and nothing ever gets done. And I was guilty of that for a long time. We can overanalyze a lot of things, and the things that we really want in our lives and want to get done in our lives never get accomplished, and then we suffer for it because we have what's called regrets. And those of you that say you don't have regrets are lying. We all have regrets. We've all hesitated at least once in our life. So how can we change? How can we change? It starts with how we perceive ourselves in the world. It starts with how we perceive ourselves in the world. Then once we realize what has been working for us and what does not, we can take action without hesitation. It's all about seeing what works for you and what doesn't. What may work for me may not work for you. This goes back to, again, you can't imitate or I would say even try to follow someone exactly as the person that's teaching you is like, or the person that's showing you a certain attribute about yourself that needs to improve. It always comes down to how you look at something, because I look at something differently from you, and I can only give you my experience. That's why I always talk about that there's nothing that's really good or bad. It's just based on one's perception on life. And I say that often because it's true. There's nothing in this realm that's what one could say is good or bad. It's just based on one's perception. So somebody could look at the hyena killing a gazelle by eating it through its ass up to its throat and say, wow, that's wicked and horrible, which it is in my opinion. But to hyena, it's not. I mean, that's what they do. So it's always based on one's perception. This is what really matters, and this is what really exists. And to me, as long as you focus on yourself and what you perceive to benefit you or not, you will be in good standing with yourself, and you will have what's called good standards for yourself, and other people see that and therefore respect that. So that is it. That is all I have for you today. This almost wasn't going to happen today. Again, one of the programs I'm using was having some technical issues. I wanted to start to stream a lot earlier. I might just start it now. This seems like a good time. Seems like a relaxed time. Seems like a time that more people may be watching. And we can grow the channel that way. If you like what you saw today, you can always send in some support. The support can be found down below in the description box. I do have a Cash App, Venmo, and if necessary, I can send you a PayPal. I don't like PayPal because PayPal takes from you, and I just don't like that. If you want to get in touch with me for the oil fragrances, you can send me email at maatsfragrance@usa.com, maatsfragrance@usa.com, or you can call the business line at 213-436-5078. It's 213-436-5078. And I also have a book, Freedom Through God's Word. The book is more for people that would be interested in ancient Egypt and the more advanced side of what I teach about. And the book is called Freedom Through God's Word. And if you would like to order that, you can just hit the links below and it'll take you right to the order page. And I offer teaching, coaching, training, and really anything else that deals with improving oneself in their life experience. And not only a rapid fashion, but also in one that will be that will last for a long time. So just get in contact with me as soon as possible so we can talk. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and like I said, you can always join the chat so we can conversate. If you have some questions, I will put them on the screen, and I will be able to bring you a solution, hopefully, if I know the answer, of course. So everybody enjoy your day. Next week we will be having another Sunday, hopefully Sunday 1 p.m. live stream. During the week I will produce some more videos. I'll also make a short out of this one in a TikTok video. The shorts are really good and convenient for people that are busy or on the go or just don't have long attention spans. But anyways, there's more for the future, and I'm glad that you came out today. Be well.